Welcome to on Paulsboro, our first show of the year 2013. Irma?
I can't believe it's 2013, John. I looked the other day and it was like 2010. Here we go.
It just keeps on coming. We're in the lobby of Historic Hill Studio on Broad Street. This will be a quieter show than their Christmas show. We thank everybody associated with putting that together. Had a lot of wonderful comments from Michael Smith bringing music. We don't have Michael with us today, but Irma thought we should reach back. We're going to have a little piece with Kid Primo, the original on Paulsboro Orchestra. But we have an interesting show. Our friends from NuStar join us to give us an update on how well that plant is doing. Robin Glocker-Hammond is joining us to talk about the letters you received in the mail about how the reassessment's going in town and what your role is and what those letters mean. We think you'll find that informative. Plus, of course, Irma back with community notes and maybe a surprise.
We always have a surprise, John. Sometimes I don't even know what the surprise is.
Either do I. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Multi-policy discount. Paperless discount. Paid in full discount. Homeowners discount. Safe driver discount. Chipmunk family reunion. Someone stole the nuts. Squirrel jail. Justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like True Test paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
Welcome back. For those living in Paulsboro, and in fact for those watching this show in different towns, each municipality in Gloucester County has been part of a countywide tax reassessment program. It's a pilot program for the state of New Jersey. Under the direction of Senator Sweeney, myself, and the Assembly, we're able to get Gloucester County qualified for this. And the Paulsboro Tax Office, for tax assessment purposes, slides over to the county program, I believe, in April. But with me now is Robin Glocker-Hammond, who I mentioned at the top of the show. She is our tax assessor presently. She'll be going over to the county when all this finally comes together. Her father was a tax assessor since the 90s, so they really understand the town. And I thought it'd be helpful that you hear from her about what these letters mean and where we are in this process. We probably did this on the show when it was first talked about, but it goes back way long ago. So, Robin, at this point, people are getting a letter from Appraisal Systems Incorporated. What does the letter mean?
The letter is just telling you what your new assessment is going to be for 2013. And it also shows you what your assessment was in 2012, what your tax dollars were in 12. It's also projecting what your taxes will be in 13. And those projections are based off of the 2012 budgets from the school, the county, the municipality.
Now, when a person looks at this, and I, of course, have a residential property, live in town, we have a commercial property, it gives these numbers, and it also gives information if you have questions about the numbers. How is the process working? A person gets this letter and doesn't understand it or doesn't think the number's right.
There is a number, actually instructions on the letter. There's a number to call at Appraisal Systems, Inc., and they ask you to call within 10 days of receiving the letter. You make an appointment, and they actually schedule an informal hearing with you here at the borough. They then sit down and go over your property record card. You have a regular dialogue about what's in your property, what they've discovered is in your property. If they haven't had access to your home, they can make arrangements to get back into your property. At that point, after they've reviewed everything, they will let you know if there's a change in the assessment going forward.
And then at that point, there's still an avenue of appeal, or is that the final word?
That's just the final word with Appraisal Systems, Inc. Then the next process would be you'll receive the card that you get in February every year telling you what your assessed value is for 13. At that point in time, because this is a revaluation year, you have until May 1st to file a formal tax appeal with the Gloucester County Board of Taxation.
Now, for a person who hasn't gone through this, because we didn't do that this often in town. In fact, put it off as long as we could. very expensive to do. In this particular case, this program is being paid by the state grant, which actually saves Paulsboro taxpayers a lot of money in getting this done. But these are never easy or pleasant, and it causes some confusion for people. Robin, what goes into a residential assessment? When the person's looking at the house, what are they looking for? Are they looking at your slip covers, or are they looking at windows?
They're looking at square footage, and they measure from the outside of the property. They would like access to or need access to the interior to see if you have a finished attic, a finished basement, what's your bathroom count, and overall condition. And that's all that they're after. They're not looking at any personal property. It's just all real, and it's square footage driven.
And how about incomparable sales? For example, if a house is sold in the neighborhood or houses are for sale and not selling, asking prices, how does that work?
They're looking strictly at usable sales, arm's length transactions that have been tested on the open market. And these values that you're receiving in your letters are values of properties as of October 1st of 2012.
And I'm hearing from people, as I talk to people back and forth, some people are pleased with the assessment. So it seems like some think things are higher, some are okay that things are lower. It seems like a mix.
I'm sure it is a mix. It's been 14 years since the borough has been reassessed. So everything is just taken up to 100% of value. Some people may find that their properties have doubled in assessment. Some haven't as much. Some have gone up more than that. So it's just really reestablishing everyone to 100% of value.
But to use the term equalization, so just because your property goes up, the amount of taxes the town looks to collect becomes equalized over the entire town. So the tax bill may change a little, but it doesn't have to be dramatic.
No, it doesn't. But the tax rate will drop significantly because prior to this revaluation, Paulsboro was right around 55% ratio, and now we're going to 100%. So the tax rate, prior to this was in the $5 and some cents. Now it's probably going to be at $3 and something. So you will see a decrease. You have to see a decrease in the tax rate.
Now going forward with the county program, because Robin used a term that people don't always hear, which is amount of ratio, 55% of ratio against what is considered to be the fair market value, because these reassessments weren't done that often. So if we're at 100% today, is there going to be a provision to keep this fresher over time now?
We'll be constantly studying sales. Anytime you do a revaluation in a town, you develop neighborhoods. Neighborhoods can be blocks, different streets, and from there we study the sales within those neighborhoods. We can go back in and file compliance plans yearly to keep the ratio as close to 100% as possible.
And is that more likely now with the county operation coming into play than it was at the municipal level?
Absolutely. We have a staff there that is constantly reviewing, and we've already filed compliance plans in other towns that have already gone through revaluations under the county program.
Very good. And by the way, that was the idea of the pilot program for the county, because like Paulsboro got way out of whack, 55% of value, and it makes it harder in regards to the tax rate. This is supposed to help over time. But if you've gotten your letter and you have questions, as Robin said, take advantage, make the phone call. I was there yesterday on my one property, not hard to talk to, and it's informal, as she said. You don't need an attorney. You go in, explain what you have, and if they got something wrong, they're going to correct it, and it'll affect the number. If they didn't get something wrong, then they're going to correct that number too. But bottom line is use the number, get involved. They're there to help you. Thank you, Robin, for coming over, by the way, on short notice. Taxes are not always easy to talk about, but tax assessments are very important. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Welcome back to Eye on Paulsboro. With me now is Dan Statile. Did I get it right, Dan? Close?
That's good.
Not bad, not bad. He is Vice President and General Manager of the NuStar refinery, manufacturers of asphalt. And many of you recall a handful of years ago, Bill Greehey and his group rolled into town and rejoined us. Bill was one of the people that put Valero together, and what a standard they set. and what good neighbors they were. And NuStar's picked up a lot of that corporate mentality, that culture has survived. And they're sort of like the quiet refinery because they're not making home heating oil, they're making asphalt. So Dan, first of all, welcome. You recently had an open house because you continue with community outreach and you threw the doors open.
That's correct, John. We celebrating 4 years in the NuStar system, and we opened the doors to the community as part of New Jersey Manufacturer Week. We invited all our community neighbors to come take a look at what we've done at the facility, and I think folks are quite impressed with the improvements we've made there and the capital we've put into the facility. Right now, we just completed major expansion on our wastewater treating facility. We've done quite a bit of expansion to bring in crude via rail from the Midwest and the Canadian region. And we've done quite a bit of small capital projects to sustain the facility and help us to continue to grow to meet the market demand.
When you say asphalt, first of all, how many jobs are there? You know, people, those of us that live here, we see the facility, it's sort of been there, you just sort of think it's there. How many jobs?
Right around 100, as well as our contract workforce that helps us sustain the facility. With the rail project we just put in, we brought in another 20 additional contractors to help us run that particular facility. So all in all, we are average day in, day out, around 150 to 175 people at the facility.
So how do you compete as a standalone refinery just making asphalt? Because unlike now Paulsboro Refinery, they crack a barrel of crude and different things come from it. How does your operation work?
Pretty similar. We crack a barrel of crude, and our major offtake is the asphalt itself, the asphalt binder. About 70% of the barrel we bring in goes into our product slate, which is the asphalt. The intermediate gas oils and the lighter gasoline, we sell those to larger refineries who further crack that into transportation fuels. Right now, East Coast refining is a tough market. We've had a tough year, but we're bouncing back right now, mainly due to exports. And we just completed a run today for a major export to as far away as New Zealand, believe it or not.
It's hard to believe asphalt travels that far, that well. So I guess the vessel that it travels in is heated?
Absolutely. Heated. Has to be heated in order to offload it later. I'm sure they cool it down on the voyage all the way over to New Zealand to save some energy, and then when they get closer, they warm it back up so they can offload it. So
when we think of asphalt, the asphalt that's on Broad Street here in town, it doesn't come out of your refining process that way.
No. Well, what our product does goes to the hot mix plant, who mixes it with the aggregate and sand based on whatever the specifications are. Believe it or not, asphalt is a technical product. And one of the things we got to demonstrate to the community members that came is our special manufacturing facility called Polymer Modified Asphalt. Interesting product in that this particular asphalt is almost like rubber. If I made you an ingot, you could stretch it and it would return to its original shape, which when you put it on the road, that product resists rutting, lasts longer, can resist a lot of wear and tear, and it is very life cycle cost friendly.
And will that become an industry standard, or is that a premium that certain customers request? It's
a premium, but very fortunate that New Jersey DOT is a favored customer of ours, and we hope to continue to see that product slate grow. I mean, the future is what's called permanent paving. Install this polymer modified asphalt and only have to mill a very little skim layer off it and then rejuvenate it to be very life cycle cost friendly.
It almost going to sound like from a technical standpoint, you're going to put yourselves out of a job at some point because you can't last too long.
We hope it lasts a very long time. It's a very good product.
It's the right thing to say, by the way, for those who are going to buy it. Now, before we close the segment, so how do you compete to be able to make a product in the Northeast? It's an expensive place to do business for all the reasons we know, but you're competitive enough to ship overseas?
That's correct. We're very fortunate that some of the crude that's coming out of the mid-continent is very competitive on the world market, and so that enables us to compete overseas. Just like here, we in the States, a lot of the Asia market has to import their oil. And fortunately for us, some of our homeborn crudes right now are very cost competitive across the globe.
So you run 24/7. Now, normally winter months, you would be starting to quiet the operation. So with the New Zealand and the overseas market opening up to you, does that mean you'll run stronger year round?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that question, but this is an off year for us. Normally we are shut down this time of year, and due to the demand in the export market, we're actually going to be running right through to February, and in February we're only shutting down for a couple of weeks. So we're looking forward to the improved business.
Sounds like good news. And the other thing I like to let people understand, because when you talk about quantities and what can be manufactured, so when you prepare a shipment to go to New Zealand, how much moves at one time?
Over 200,000 barrels in this particular shipment.
And how many gallons in a barrel? I thought it was like 44 or something.
Yeah, it's a lot.
No, that's a lot of product. So is that a once a week shipment? What kind of frequency with the contract you're filling?
Well, right now this particular New Zealand export is a one-off deal. It's going to be a little over 220,000 barrels, and then we've been exporting about 2-3 times a week to mostly the South American markets, Chile and Brazil and the Caribbean.
Got a good salesman out there somewhere. It's a lot of ground to cover.
He's a great guy. We got a good team. NuStar's a good company.
You have a very good team. You have a very good team put together by a very good man. I visit with our neighbors from NuStar. Very, very good paying jobs. Hard work, by the way, but as I remind my nephew who works there, my cousin who works there, they call it a job for a reason. They call it work for a reason. And then they call vacation for a reason. But we appreciate those jobs that are there and how well they conduct themselves. So you can't take this stuff for granted. Stay with us. We're coming right back. And remember, the asphalt you're driving on may have been made by your neighbors. We'll be right back.
Multi-policy discount. Paperless discount. Paid in full discount. Homeowners discount. Safe driver discount. Chipmunk family reunion. Someone stole the nuts. Squirrel jail. Justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like TrueTest paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
Welcome back. With me now is George Strachan. You're familiar with him visiting the show. He works for the Gloucester County Improvement Authority and one of the quarterbacks of the Port Project. And every couple of months we like to have him come by and say hello. Of interest at the moment is to get a sense of how the overpass is progressing. We're taping this show in January. It's spring-like weather. So does that mean that more work can happen, George? Where are we at schedule-wise?
Schedule-wise, we're doing pretty well. We did lose some time with the derailment. We lost about 3 weeks. The Coast Guard had closed the creek. We did have, and do have now, crews working back in the creek. And thank God the crews, they were treated at the hospital. Everybody was okay. But no, we did lose about 3 weeks, but we're looking at having the overpass open by the end of the year for commercial traffic. So we're doing well schedule-wise.
That's a big deal. It's the end of 2013.
Yeah, and as you know, this is state funding. You were instrumental in getting the funding, as was Senate President Sweeney, so the state is funding the project. And the other part of the vision that you guys had was to have the overpass and have the port, and we're on schedule to do that. So what's going on construction-wise with the port is there's foundation work. The foundation work had started in September. That's going to run through the balance of the spring. The structural steel for the bridge itself has been ordered. That was ordered back in December, so that's being manufactured. We're expecting that to be delivered in early spring, May. And the shop drawings are being reviewed by the engineers right now. And then when it's delivered in May, a June, July timeframe for the steel erection. The pavement work is going to work through the balance of the project through the end of the year. So.
It's a big deal because it really will unlock that property. And that was a key element, as all of you remember, remember from following this from its inception, because our local roads can't handle the kind of truck traffic the port is anticipated generating. Physically, they're not up to it, and then, of course, the neighborhoods would be disrupted, as the experience we've had with other older ports. So that's why this is so critical. George, after the long duration of getting the land squared away, the end of the year, maybe an overpass. That's a big deal. I mean,
no, and we're very happy about that. The project didn't move as quickly as we would like. It is, once again, state funding, so that's a good thing. There are folks working. There's jobs attached to it, and there's an emergency management component that we had also talked about that was a byproduct of this and became all the more important after the recent derailment.
Oh no, you raise that point, which is well taken with regards to, had the bridge been in place, could that large crane make its way to the site of the railroad bridge? And the answer was that there are provisions of how that could occur, either moving the crane on land with the access road that'll be on the side of the bridge, but those provisions are accounted for because Coast Guard had to approve the design, correct?
That is correct. The Coast Guard did approve the design, and we're also tweaking the design with the input of Conrail with our engineers, because this is just emergency vehicles using the bridge to be able to bridge the gap literally between both sides of the Mantua Creek is important, but also if there's equipment that has to be moved around. We're involved with receiving, or I should say the South Jersey Port Corporation is involved with receiving some heavy equipment for the LS Power project, and it's envisioned that it's going to be staged in Paulsboro and landed across the creek, and those elements can be incorporated in case Conrail has a problem in the future. Hopefully we don't, but that's going to be helpful.
Oh, it's all piecing together. And we're still looking for a new bridge out of Conrail, by the way, and hopefully soon we're going to be able to talk about what's going to take place there. That's an update for the port. In this case, we wanted to get an update on the overpass. It's very significant and very important. We thank George for stopping by and all those in the effort being made to get this port up and running, because just as we talked about tax assessments with Robin, once that port gets rolling and those new ratables are in town, hoping you're going to drive these tax bills down and make Paulsboro a desirable place for workforce housing and a place that's affordable. So stay with us. We're coming right back.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Welcome back. We've got a little bit of a look back. We like to do it occasionally. We really need to do better on our inventory of shows, but Irma came across this, and after the response to Michael on the show, here's a piece with Kid Primo, taped here at Hill Studio in 1996. We hope you enjoy it. Can't speak for the quality of it. I mean, the tape quality. Kid Primo was always outstanding. We hope you enjoy it. We're going to come back with community notes.
We ain't started yet. Okay. Yeah. Okay, come on back. Hi, we're back again, I think. What's the name of that song, Dominic? Huh? What's the name of that song? Jingle Bell. Jingle Bell. Well, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Kid, you came to Paulsboro what year?
1931.
And you started boxing when?
I had my first fight 1 month after I landed on Paulsboro.
No.
Yeah, the old Hill Theater in the back.
Well, what weight were you?
126 pounds.
Kid, you're a fixture around town at St. Michael's Club, it goes without saying. But tell us a little bit about your boxing career.
Well, I started out over here. I knocked out Joe Mattimore out, John DiStefano, a few other guys, I don't know their names. And then when I was 21, I moved to South Philadelphia. That's when the real fight started. Let me tell you. I met a lot of tough guys. 17 Mars, Mason Hole. That was the big hole. Now it's a gas station. But over there, let me tell you, there was a lot of good fights.
There's still a lot of good fights in the city of Philadelphia, sometimes not necessarily in the arenas. Did you get paid much money then, kid?
I fought him out of, what do you call it, standby, Patterson, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And you get $8, $6, and you get paid regardless if you fight or you don't fight. But the idea is when you fight, you don't know who you're fighting. Most of the guys I fought, they were too tough for me. I threw a lot of those guys out of the ring, let me tell you.
Was that permitted under the rules?
That was my own idea. When I couldn't get to the guys, when I got close enough, let me tell you, and he got tough inside. One had his 3 ropes. I threw him out of the second rope, the second rope. I threw him right out of the ring.
Did they come back in?
Oh, yeah, he came back. I mean, the referee says, you can't do that. I says, I don't speak English. I don't know what you're talking about.
We've hoped you enjoyed the program, but no show is complete without the community notes with Irma Stevenson. In fact, it's the only really reason we do this show. So, Irma, Happy New Year, and Kid Primo.
Oh, John, wait till you see this. It is wonderful. Walt and I just sat there and reminisced about and Arnold Bay is on one. We'll probably show him some other time. Not singing, but just talking about Kid Primo. Yeah. Well, happy birthday to Jim Emmerich Sr., Mayor Jeff Hamilton, the Barber triplets, Alyssa, Jason and Ryan, Elaine Koshu, Stacy Moran, Brooke Reinger, John R. Hoffman, Sandy Kogel, Judy Maurer, Edward Carson, Lenny Curtis, Raylan Stevenson, Captain Mark Quint, United States Army, Jim Milstead, Bob Wittig, Jamie Milstead, Alan Bay, Arnold Bay Jr., Aunt Bert, Andre Bay, Anthony Marina, Jody Maddox, Mary Cipielli, Caitlin O'Brien, and Doug Stetzer. And, of course, I could always wish a happy birthday to Margaret Tedeschi. Happy anniversaries to Lyndon Bill Sampson, Phyllis and George Speakman, and Kathy and Pete Policina. Happy birthdays and happy anniversaries. Don't forget, even though the holidays are over, please contact the American Red Cross to give the gift of life, your blood. Saturday, March 16th, which next to St. Patty's Day, the famous oyster and ham dinner will be at St. Paul's United Methodist Church on Broad and Delaware Streets in Paulsboro. $20 eat-in, $17 takeout. Details to follow. Remember, our oysters are always patted with love. Volunteers are needed for contact at Community Helper Lines for 24-hour, 365-day-a-year crisis hotline. Primary purpose is to help people who are contemplating suicide. They will provide training for you. For more information, call 856-795-5073. They really need your help. For our friends, John, we do have friends in East Greenwich. Parks and Recreations are selling tickets to Friday, February 15th, performance of Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus. John, I remember going up to Philadelphia watching this just a few years ago. Now it's going to be held at the Wells Fargo Center. $25 for club box. $18 for an upper level, food voucher for 6. Contact Kate DiStefano at egevents@gmail.com. And St. John's, our friends at St. John's and Knights of Columbus are going to have a New Year's, well, they're celebrating New Year's afterwards, they told me. Buffet breakfast, January 20th, 8:30 to 11:30 at the Church Hall of St. John's. Adults 6, kids under 12, $4. And they're a great group, our Knights of Columbus, John, and I'm glad to see they're always at St. John's at least once a month having their breakfast. It's fellowship, John. It really is.
Well, it is, and the church basement is a comfortable place, renovated, and if you don't have plans, you should try and stop in because it's a good value for the dollar and goes to a good cause. Remember, that's going to do it.
John, it's 2013. We have a lot of events going on, which will keep everybody posted, and we're all glad to be back in Paulsboro.
A lot to be thankful for Fred Buchter behind the camera, for Bill Crane, our producer, who's not with us today. That's going to do it from here at Historic Hill Studio.
See you on Broad Street, and it's always good to be back in the Hill.
Until next time.